Some stones arrive quietly. Lapis lazuli did not. For thousands of years, this blue rock travelled along caravan roads and river routes, passing from mountain mines into palaces, temples, and painters' studios. Tonight, we're just going to wander through a few of those old stories and let them settle around the stone. Long before maps used the word Afghanistan, people were climbing into high, dry mountains to cut deep blue rock from the cliffs. At night, the miners slept under the same stars that later would be mirrored in the stone's tiny pyrite flecks. By day, they wrapped the blue pieces and loaded them onto animals for the long journey outward. Caravans carried lapis through cold passes and hot deserts, towards cities where almost no one knew what the original mountains even looked like. In the cities between the rivers, lapis was treated as a material of the gods. Scribes and storytellers used its name when they needed to describe a deep, powerful blue, the colour of divine beards, sacred gates, and the shining eyes of statues. Seals carved from lapis pressed images into clay, winged creatures, kings, and strange hybrid beings marking what belonged to whom. If you look at your stone now, you can imagine those ancient hands tracing similar edges, turning the same colour under lamplight. Further west and south, along the Nile, lapis became a colour of royalty and the afterlife. Artists set it into amulets, collars, and eye makeup containers, building patterns of blue and gold against skin and linen. Some royal masks and burial items held inlays of lapis around the eyes and brow, a way of saying, this person belongs among the gods now, not just among humans. In the language of temple walls and papyrus, blue stones could stand in for the sky, for water, and for the flesh of certain deities. Lapis lived inside that web of meanings like a small solid piece of heaven. In other lands, lapis travelled under different names. In parts of Asia, it became one of the stones linked with wisdom, with the inner work of clearing the mind and aligning with what is right. Beads of lapis were strung into prayer necklaces, handled over and over until the surface turned soft and familiar. On a map, those places are far apart. On the surface of the stone, the stories sit almost on top of each other. Much later, people began grinding lapis into powder to make one of the most expensive blue pigments in the world, ultramarine. Pigment makers washed and sifted the crushed stone again and again, coaxing the purest blue out of the rock. Painters saved that colour for the most important robes, halos, and skies, places in an image where the viewer's eye was meant to rest in reverence. When you see an old painting with impossibly rich blue, there's a chance you're looking at powdered mountain turned into light. Across all these times and places, lapis meant many things at once: status, devotion, the favour of gods, the presence of the sky, the weight of truth. But under the crowns and the rituals and the paintings, it was still the same blue rock you see here, held in ordinary hands, carried in pockets, sat with in small, private spaces. You don't have to step into any of those old belief systems to be with it now. You can just let the echoes of their stories drift around you, like distant singing down a corridor. You might imagine your stone resting on an altar somewhere along that old trade route, in a shrine, in a studio, in a quiet room with a single oil lamp burning. Learn more about the Lapis Court from geology and metaphysical perspectives. New videos are released every Friday, so be sure to follow for more.